All right, so we are working on an example where we are going to solve two-step equations. And so if we're talking about a two-step equation, remember that it's going to take us two steps for us to isolate the variable. So that's the goal in what we're doing today. So the example that they give us is 2 times x plus 4, and that is going to be equal to negative 20. So first, let me write this down. So we have 2 times x plus 4, and that is going to be equal to negative 20. Okay, so notice we're going to have to use the distributive property in order for us to simplify this expression on the left side. So we're going to multiply each term within the parentheses by 2. Okay, so what happens is now we end up with 2x, and then we also end up with 8. So that's when we multiply those two terms. And then if you want to look at the signs, remember that a positive times a positive is a positive. A positive times a positive is a positive. So again, you're just writing down both positives because the 2 is a positive and everything inside of the parentheses is also a positive. All right, and then we're going to write the remainder of our problem, which is equal to negative 20. And so now what we need to do is simplify. In order for us to simplify or isolate the variable, I should say, in order for us to isolate the variable, remember PEMDAS. So remember, we use PEMDAS in correct order, starting from the P, working down towards the S, if we are solving an expression. So if we have everything that we need in one side of the expression, if we wanted to solve it, then we would work with PEMDAS in its correct order. However, if you have a variable and you need to isolate the variable, then you want to use PEMDAS, but you're going to use it in reverse order. Okay, so because we have an X here, we're trying to isolate and figure out what makes this statement true. So we're going to start off with addition or subtraction. And before anything, remember, we always ask ourselves, so let me back up one step. Is the variable by itself? No, it's not. So this lets me know I'm going to use PEMDAS in reverse order. And why is it not by itself? Because it is being multiplied by a positive 2, and then we are adding 8. So let's start with addition and subtraction. Let's go on and undo what we have. And so remember, if you're adding or subtracting, you want it to equal 0 on the side that has your variable. So what we end up with is going to be 2x. This cancels out. And then we have our equal, and then we have 20 and 8 both going in the negative direction. So remember, if they're going in the same direction, you're just basically adding and attaching that sign. So 20 plus 8 gives me 28, and they are both going in the negative direction. All right, now, is x by itself? No, because it's being multiplied by 2. So again, we're continuing to work our way up. And so now what we have is we're going to divide both sides by 2. Remember, the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So that's all we're doing is using inverse operations to undo whatever has already been done in the initial expression. All right, when you are multiplying or dividing, remember that you need your variable, you need your coefficient to become 1, not 0, because if it becomes 0, then you don't even have a variable to work with. So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1, and I always cancel them out just so I know that that's been addressed. I'm left with 1x, and that is going to be equal to 28 divided by 2 gives me 14. I have a negative divided by a positive, which gives me a negative 14. So the answer for this one is going to be x is equal to negative 14.